Greetings, folks. Time for more server work. This machine is running Proxmox virtual environment, which, by the way, for all the people telling me to run Proxmox VE instead of VirtualBox, I am, as you can see. But it is running Proxmox VE 7, which, as you can see, I mean barely because I've got this in the way, but support ends next month. So in a previous video, you remember, I put this together to house some of my more mission critical things, and it's doing that quite well. But now it's time, if I don't completely break everything here, which is need a television, it's time to upgrade that. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking a backup of everything. So I've shut down the virtual machines, I'm taking a backup, and then we'll proceed with these steps. Someone's probably going to ask, well, why don't you just do this remotely? Because it is possible to run commands remotely. Which is a very easy question to answer, because if something goes wrong, then I gotta come over here and figure out what happened anyway. So you might as well just come, deal with the thing with a local console, and be good to go. Someone will probably ask about all those error messages. I don't really know why, but there is something. In fact, I don't even think it's connected to it anymore. But I had a transfer server set up with CIFS that I was using to transfer between different boxes from that one to it's that one down there. I was doing that when I set that up so I could get the stuff off of this onto that. And I got rid of that server because it didn't work very well, as you might have seen in my video where I did the work to set that one up. For whatever reason, it's still trying to connect to it, which isn't going to work very well. Or maybe those are just error messages that were there before and they haven't cleared up because I haven't logged into the console on that. I was sitting here looking at this and going around and doing some things. I had to look at the clock over here. This is 11:30, and then this says 10:30. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, did I not reset those for daylight savings time? And then I looked at this, after realizing that wouldn't make sense because the clock goes ahead for DST, not behind. And then it hit me. This was given to me, this HP stream was given to me by Weasel2HTM, so guess what? It's in Central Time, I think. I haven't actually looked at this, so I could be just completely wrong and full of crap, and it could just be set wrong, but no, yeah, see, there it is, Central Time. So, let's fix that. And now it's officially mine. It is no longer in Missouri. Okay, with our backups done, the first step is to run this checklist script, which should be on the machine already. I hadn't logged in. We'll run it just like that first. So there is one warning. System booted in UEFI mode, but grub meta package not installed. I don't really care about that. We do want to run it with all the checks, which I believe is -- full. Yes. So, yes, that's the only warning that we've got. I'm going to choose to ignore it because I don't think I need it. Famous last words. And so at that point, we've moved it. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to run these commands here and just make sure that everything is right. Okay, in this case we're good, and our PVE version says 7.4-18, where this instruction looks like it wants 7.4-15. So, at this point, we're going to do this. which means we're going to change everything from Bullseye to Bookworm. So we'll do that first. Okay, so I've done all of that on that machine, which you really can't see. I mean, you can see for that one in particular. The Enterprise that I'm not using. I'm not going to worry about Ceph. I'm not using Ceph. So we'll do this. Make sure everything works. I don't see Bullseye in that list anywhere, so that's good. That's the way it should be. And then we will do the full upgrade. Dist upgrade. And of course, we'll make sure that we follow all of these. These are the various files that'll get changed over. That's wonderful. You know, it's almost as if gravity's not a thing. Anyway, I'll have to take care of these files when we do actually run the upgrade, which we will do right now. So that'll do all of this, and we'll let it go. We're getting close. I'll install the package maintainer's version of that, just to make sure. Oh, and yes, by the way, the washing machine's going. You know, gotta run laundry sometime, right? I know it complained about the, I think it was the EFI issue, but yet it looks like it installed Grub in EFI mode, so maybe it'll actually work. I'm not sure why it's doing that, considering it's supposed to, oh, there it is. So I wonder what's up with that. I don't really care. Oops. We'll run this. Run this script again, just to make sure. And see what happens. No failures. We'll probably have to reboot it first. That'll be the last time anybody hears from it. We'll see how it happens. It takes a long time to reboot, I'm telling you what. I don't know why it takes so long. Doesn't output anything to the console while it's doing so either. There it goes. It also takes a long time to start if you're keeping score. It's got a post. I hope it does. Oh, there it goes. Did it when I wasn't looking. Let that start, and it should auto start our virtual machines, or at least the few that I have, the two that I got set to auto start. Well, that's a little weird. It crashed once, and it crashed so hard that the reset switch didn't even work. But of course, that could just be because it's not hooked up. Excuse me, not hooked up. But it's running now, or at least it was running now. What if it locked up again? Let's see. And it sure did. So I don't know why all of a sudden it's locking up. That's very irritating. Okay, so I don't understand. I've spent the last probably 20 minutes debugging this, trying to figure out why it kept crashing. Now it's working. The only thing I've changed is I'm not auto-starting any of these virtual machines. So I have no idea what's going on with that, but I suppose while I have the chance, what I will do is I'll migrate these back while I know that this is actually working. I'm going to, you know what, I'll leave the auto start. We'll leave it alone. And I'm going to shut this down, or we'll shut this one down. I'll back it up, and then I'll restore it. I want to keep, even though nothing's really changed, I want the most up-to-date that it can be. So I suppose, while that's busy being uncooperative, I guess I'll keep that other box intact. But I'm going to need it to do some other things because I have two systems, the backup server, funny enough, and then this, that need new boot drives, and I guess this as well, because this is running out of disk space. I put it together with a 40 gigabyte drive, thinking that would be enough. Ever the wishful thinker I was. So much for that. So I'm going to have to find another drive, but I forgot to grab any of my 250 gig drives. So I'll have to get some more. Right now that one's a little more important because that disk is in a lot less good of health. And I do have one sitting around. So I wonder if I had a disk failure. And that explains why I'm having these problems, because now it's sitting here and not going any further. Yeah, I think I lost a disk. So that would maybe explain why I'm having constant lockups. I'm not really sure why. That's an odd failure to have, but I guess I'm going to have to replace that drive. Again, this took me a minute, but I am missing a drive. You can see I've got 5 disks. I should have 6. This should be fully populated insofar as I know. So now I just gotta figure out which disk is the one that's missing. And hopefully I've got an extra sitting around somewhere. Although, maybe I could live without that one drive, I don't know. Okay, I've got this apart, and indeed, one drive there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drives there. I should have 6 drives. I've only got 5. So which one's dead? Well, I suppose I could have powered it on and checked the BIOS to figure out which one was dead, but I've also got the serial numbers here of the drives that were showing up. 2 Western Digitals, a Hitachi, and a Seagate. So, let's see if I can figure out, and this is going to be my process of elimination, which one it is. So, this is going to be fun. Well, I found it. This serial number is not on my list, so this is the drive that stopped showing up. Unfortunately, and I haven't even determined if it's the drive yet, because it could be a cable issue, because I'm using this stupid right angle cable, and I really wish I wasn't. I want to get rid of that. But unfortunately, the only extra drive I've got, that's a 500 gigabyte drive, which is what this is, happens to be this. Yuck. So I don't even know if this drive works. Honestly, I'm surprised that I have a 7200.11 in my collection, because most of those drives died pretty early on. At least that's my experience with them. But I'll put it in, I'll see if it works, and then I suppose once I verify that this machine is reliable, I've got a 500 that's in that temporary box that's sitting over there, and that's going to end up in here, so okay, it's in there. Whether or not it works, I don't really care at this point, because this has taken far too long. I hear a sound I don't like. I could have gone into setup. Maybe I should have gone into setup, but I'm going to let this thing auto boot this time, and everything except for that one VM that's now not going to work because that drive's missing, it's right there, should auto start. So we'll see if it crashes the auto start again. It's kind of weird, I had that problem, but we experienced it after upgrading. It's very weird. And again, really kind of drives home the point that for as bad as the Seagate drives are, at least they're honest when they're having problems. I don't know, maybe I missed something and didn't look quite carefully at the smart data, but I'm pretty sure that I looked at it recently and it said that it was completely okay without any problems. And yet, now it's completely dead. So dead it won't even show up on the bus. Although again, I haven't verified if that's a problem with the drive or if it's a problem with the cable. Of course, if it's the cable, there's not much I can really do about it either because I don't have any cables sitting around. Okay, so I'm still running into problems with this freezing and crashing for no reason. I don't really understand at this point why this is going on. There's really no excuse. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this stupid thing that's here. I'm going to just get rid of it. Or maybe the computer will crash again, I don't know. This is what we've got. This, destroy, VMS2, remove, not a valid block device, and it gives me an error message. I don't understand. Okay, step number 2, or try number 2, remove that. I don't get it. It was that easy? So that's in the wrong place, so that's nice of them. But I can't get rid of this, because it's just going to tell me it's not a block device. Yeah. So I don't really care whether it's a valid block device or not, I just want it gone. Okay, this is dumb. Apparently this is the way to do it. Is to stop the System D mount. This is just begging to be branded with U for Unixery. That's what it is. Okay, I manually removed that. And before I reboot, because like I said, I'm still having problems with random crashes for no reason, I'm going to turn the start at boot back off on these. Do not start at boot any longer. Alright. Now we'll reboot again. I removed the System D file, so it hopefully is not going to try and mount again. Okay, well this time I didn't get an error on boot. I get a connection refused and then it works anyway, so that's good. Very good quality. Good quality hardware, works great. Sorry, good quality software works great. There's nothing wrong with the hardware, it's that the software's crap. Why is everything okay? When I click on something, I want it to be, yeah, there, now it's gone. Okay. System hasn't exploded yet. I want to wipe this disk. Oh, would you look at that? Now it crashed. Must be a cable issue. Okay, swap the cables. Hasn't crashed yet. Let's try erasing the disk again. Wipe disk. Oh, looks like it crashed again. So that's highly stupid, actually, I think is what I've determined, is that it's highly stupid. Maybe it's that this software is garbage and causing the hardware to fail. That's probably exactly what's going on. But I think I'm tired of this. This is a waste of my time. That's what this is. So, I think it's a software problem, so I'm going to reload. I'm just going to reinstall the software from scratch, because this is, quite frankly, inexcusable. Okay, let's just try a complete, fresh install. Now let's see if the system crashes. So hopefully that's working. And then we'll have to recover everything. What a pain. Look at that, 2:30. Wow. And we haven't gotten anywhere with this. That's pretty typical. Whenever I delve into IT work, it never works. Always does something dumb, like it's done now. Probably should have replaced that boot drive while I was thinking about it, but I don't really care. I can stick with a 40 gigabyte drive as punishment for being a piece of crap. Now, I don't know, there could be some incompatibilities with Proxmox and this hardware, it's possible. This is older hardware, and it works fine, so that makes no sense to me. So I'm just inclined to believe that this software is garbage and needs to be rethought by someone who understands how the world actually works and really doesn't fill one with confidence when it comes down to replacing the rest of their Windows-based hosting with this Proxmox crap. Please remove the ISO boot media. I turned the compatibility support module, the CSM support, off. So we'll see what happens. And who knows, maybe I made it worse by switching from Legacy to EFI. I kind of doubt it. We'll see what happens this time. This stupid piece of garbage. I can't believe that I have to do this. I've wasted the entire day. Words never fail. This is why I don't ever really want to do this kind of work on things, because, hey, guess what? It's stuff that, you know, stuff that works. I don't want to play with it, but I guess when software goes obsolete, this is what you end up with. Okay, well, it didn't crash. And at this point, I'm just going to start all over again. Oh my gosh, it formatted the drive and didn't crash. Wow. Wipe disk. Okay, did that one. Oh, it did crash. I've had enough. I'm done. We're done here. I did notice I'm no longer getting splash messages from the Intel network cards, but that makes sense because I disabled legacy booting mode, and those were legacy EEPROM messages. Okay, F5. There's all of the disks. That's already wiped. Let's wipe this one. Like I said, I dare you not to work. And let's wipe this last one. Yes, erase it. It's still running. So, I don't know why this is showing up as unknown, that's a little weird, but let's initialize all of these disks with GPT, including the ones that were not previously working, which happen to be the two in the middle. It still has not crashed. So, I guess it was the cable. Guess I'm going to be throwing that cable out the window later. Okay. So, let's recreate all of our directories. Now let's see if this works. Hasn't crashed yet. I'm gonna have to re-add all of the storage stuff. That's gonna be fun. Okay, it just didn't show up. Alright. I was a little concerned there. Well, let's re-add them all. The mouse wasn't moving. I was concerned maybe this computer crashed. Yeah, it's still going. I'll go through all these drives. We'll see where it crashes, if it does. Okay, no failures. I don't know why that's not working quite correctly. But it looks like it is. It's just not showing up there for some reason. Computer may have just crashed. It might have just crashed now. Yeah, we're still having problems here. I don't understand why we're still having problems, just that we are still having problems. Even though there's absolutely no excuse for it at this point. Why are we still having problems? I don't understand. Doesn't want to respond to that button, so we'll make it respond to me. You will do what I want, and you'll like every minute of it. Bound and determined. I still really don't understand why it's crashing. It makes no sense. But like I said, bound and determined. Yep, there it goes. It exploded. Maybe it's the network. I wonder if it's that network. Because it seems to me like it's blowing up every time the network card is being accessed. I really don't understand why nothing can ever bloody effing work. It just gets worse and worse. I changed to a 3COM 3C905 and boom. I may have to come back to this some other time because I simply don't have time. I don't have time. I do not have time. It's 3:07. I have been here since, what, like 11 o'clock? Working on this? That's 4 hours. I have gotten nowhere. Garbage. I don't think that'll be working again anytime soon. Oh my god. Holy crap. It's working. Wow. It's only 100 megabit, but you know what? I'll take that. With all the crap I've gone through today, I'll take that. Wow. Now the question of the day is, will I be able to restore my backups? Well, there's notes so I can see which one's which, or not, because it just does something stupid. So the image is the first one. I want this. Actually, yeah, I want this. Let's restore this. VM101. I'll give it a new number. I'll have to pick the storage. I don't know. Let's just pick a random one. How about this one? And let's see if it explodes. Again, I'm trying to transfer over the network. So far it hasn't. But you know, that could all come crashing down at any time. So I guess at the end of the day, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments on this video about varying aspects of it, we might as well have a wrap up, or at least a, before I wrap the video up by showing you a hopefully successful project, because it's still going, it's still working, hasn't crashed yet. Famous last words. There'll probably be some comments about the varying failures, plus also, I'm sure, a whole bunch of comments about the 3COM 3C905 I cracked in half, and how that probably means I've got anger management problems, and I don't know, maybe they're right. But the fact of the matter is I feel better now. You know, I don't know what more you want. I'd rather break that than punch a hole in the wall or something else. And number two, you know, that's the way that it is. It's one of the many ways in which I am absolutely not perfect. I don't profess to be perfect. That's why these videos are not how-to videos or anything like that. It's just me demonstrating something poorly so you can see how, you know, one potential method for you to do it. At least if it actually worked. And in this case, it really didn't. I think I may have had a disk failure. I will check this disk in another machine, but the fact of the matter is it disappeared off the bus, which suggests to me that You know, maybe the disk is bad, maybe the cable right here is bad. Maybe both of those things are true, or maybe neither of them are true, and I just happened to catch the computer at the wrong time. And I don't know. I do still find this to be part of the problem, because it seems odd to me that it would break every time it tried accessing the network. Well, maybe not every time, but certainly a lot of the time. When it would freeze is when it was trying to access the network. So, I don't know. I don't know what was up with that other card. There was another one that I think I threw back in that box of cards there. That one was just telling me that there was no carrier on the cable, even though the connection was made. I had a link light, a gigabit link light, no less, on my network switch up there. It just wouldn't work, so I don't know what's up with that, but I don't know. This card, whatever it happens to be, I have no idea what it is working just fine. I don't remember. I think it's... You know what? Honestly, I don't even know. I don't know what chipset's on that card, but it seems to be okay. I will have to add the second network adapter back to that at some point, because that was why I had the dual gigabit NIC in there, is it does need two interfaces, or at least it will once I've got my network figured out. I've kind of got some of the stuff roughed in back there, but not totally finalized. I need to do work on that. I was going to do work on that today, but because this took so long, that's not what ended up happening. It's now 3:40. Oof. Oof. I don't know, dude. This wasn't supposed to take this long. Okay, so while that's busy doing its thing, I believe I should be able to start this VM. And we'll see if it crashes. The computer or if it keeps working the way that it's supposed to. Okay. So, server's online, or at least it should be. Let's see if I can actually talk to it. Come over here. I hate Google Chrome on Android phones. It just drives me nuts. Yeah. That is a live picture. It is working. Oh, and before anybody actually tries and accesses this, good luck. It's not going to work. Because you can't. But yeah, there you can see some moron talking to his camera on YouTube. It is working. So, at least I've got that going for me. So at least I've got that server running. So, I'm going to go ahead and let this do its thing. I'm actually going to switch over to a screen recorder and come back to this because this is taking, or is going to take, quite a while. And I think the one I'm going to run into a problem is, because there was one of them on here that I'm absolutely 1000% probably going to run into a problem with because it was split across multiple disks. And I don't know if the backup restore process will let you do that. So, I hope that it will. But if not, I've got ways around it. And we'll explore that in just a bit, thanks to the magic of video editing. Okay, it's early the next morning. And as you can see, it's still running. Now, I do have one problem here, but that's completely unrelated. That is another reason why I want to get this done sooner rather than later, is because I'm going to need this temporary box that's sitting right here to deal with this. But anyway, for the time being, I've even run updates. I actually ran the updates as well and rebooted it and started it back up again, and it seems to be just fine. Also worth noting, this whole ordeal is exactly the reason why I didn't want to do this remotely. Go figure, it just kind of proved itself. Anyway, I am going to have to get rid of this LVM that's right here because I don't need it. And I don't know why it's there. I'm also going to have to reset up my backups. But I'm going to do that after I've restored all the VMs. And the next one I've got to do is this one. And this one might be interesting because it was spread across multiple disks. Now, if you notice, when I hit restore, it doesn't even give me that option. I've got to restore it to a disk. So I'll be right back once I've figured out how to get around that. Okay. I have some questions as to whether or not this is going to work, but I'm going to try it anyway. So we'll come to this. We will restore. Oops, I don't want file restored. No, I don't want that. I want a full restore. Yeah, you'll notice that there was a thing here that said from backup configuration, but that disappears. So I've got to send it to a disk. This is VM 103. And we'll restore it. And we'll see what happens. This is probably going to take a while. I'm telling you, this really drives home the point that this process is absolutely 100% slow. Look at how long the duration on this is. Now, you'll note carefully the time, and you'll note it's been longer than this. I ran into a number of failures along the way that I will get into once this is finally finished, and I can actually... Well, I mean, I guess I could hit the X and go over it now, but I'll do it later. But yeah, this is not a fast process. This is for one disk. It's got to do this 8 times. So, yeah, this could take several hours. But that's what usually tends to happen when you have to restore everything from a backup from scratch. Alright, moving out from screen recorder, let me show you how this was done, or how I worked around the problem of drives or not being able to transfer to my temporary server. If you take a look here under storage, you see all these things, and you see this thing here called shared, and you'll notice my temp says that it's shared. Now I don't know what happens. I don't know if I can actually disable the sharing on that. Looks like I can't. Or can I? No. See, I can't do that. So the problem with these share things is that there's a hard-coded, in Proxmox VE, there's a hard-coded, I think it's 60-second time limit on transferring disks, or doing any action, really, in order to prevent deadlocks. And when you're trying to transfer a disk, it takes a lot longer than 60 seconds in a lot of cases. So that was why it was failing. So what I did is I actually created a new mount that just mapped straight to it on the local machine, which is not shared, and that was able to work. So now I am simply transferring the remainder of these disks, of which I've got 2 more. No, maybe 1 more after this one's finished. And then I can fire that up, and then finally I can get rid of this temporary box. Alright, we are now fully set back up. Everything is up to date. I'm running this backup run right now, which hopefully is going to work and not fail, but you know, you never know. But what I can do now, or what I should be able to do now, I should be able to come to this box and shut it down, because nothing's running on it anymore. So I can finally Well, almost. I do still need it, but I'm going to have to redo the box anyway in order to do what I want. So, almost finally take this thing off of my workbench. Sure does take its jolly sweet time to shut down, though. So that's it for that. Thank you for watching. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. It's finally over.